Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be looking at the top 5 best trees for Houston, Texas. These are trees that are super resilient, can handle the cold very well, and that can handle the heat pretty well. So let's not waste any more time and get straight into it. For the top 5 spot, I have to put the Chinese tallow on the list. Look, I know it's one of the most hated trees around here, but it does extremely well in the climate and tropical weather. Not only can it survive every winter, but it survives all the droughts. Overall, it just grows super fast. That's why it's so invasive, because it produces lots of seeds and it just lives really well here. Me personally, I'm a fan of this guy, especially the one that I have in my backyard at least. Honestly, it's a pretty good tree because it looks very pretty, especially in the fall, and it provides lots of shelter and shade. The only thing that you have to do is constantly maintain it, make sure it doesn't produce seeds, and constantly trim it so it doesn't get out of hand. But other than that, people really do over-exaggerate this tree. For the 4th place tree, I do have to give it to the Florida King Peach. I've seen this tree so many times in other people's houses, and it's always thriving, producing hundreds of fruits. I went to this one house for a party, and they had this exact same tree, and it was almost like 2 times taller than this one that we have right here, and it had hundreds of fruit on the ground and hundreds of fruits hanging off. That's how successful and amazing it was. This is definitely one of the best fruit trees that actually lives here really well. Keep in mind, it can survive most of the droughts. It can survive winters no problem, which is unlike most of the fruit trees around here. And it grows really fast. Some of the only cons would just be the short lifespan that it has. I believe it only lives for like 20 years. For the 3rd place spot, we have to give it to the loblolly pine. Just look at this thing. This thing is huge. They're all around in the forest. You see them all the time here in Houston, Texas, and they handle the heat super well, and they survive all the winters. Unfortunately, I do not have a big one in my garden, but I do have a lot of saplings, and they are very healthy, as you can see. Looking very good. They do bring a lot of cons though, like they're shedding needles because it literally covers your grass and kills it if you don't constantly break the ground. And they're definitely the tallest growing tree on this list. They can grow up to be 60 plus feet tall. I believe they grow pretty fast, like around 2 to 3 feet per year, which it depends on the circumstances and on the weather. For spot number 2, we have to give it to the weeping willow. I just had to put this guy on the list. I mean, it's not even native to the US, and it still does so well here because of the humidity, the constant rain, and just the tropical heat, and just it loves all of it. This is also one of the fastest growing trees on the list. It grows about 4 to 8 feet per year, depending on the weather and circumstances. I got this guy like a month ago, and it's already grown a lot. The only bad thing about this guy is that it could be vulnerable to more diseases around here because, again, like I mentioned, it's not native to here, so it can catch diseases a bit easier than its fellow friend, which I'll mention in just a second. But yeah, overall, it's an amazing tree, and honestly, I highly recommend it, especially for you guys that like the weeping look on a tree. For the honorable mention, we do have to give it to the southern liver oak because, I mean, this guy is massive. And not just this guy, they're everywhere around here in Houston, Texas. But they're mostly planted, to be honest. They don't really grow like that in the wild. Maybe some saplings, but usually the trees that are here are planted. But they survive really well, as you can see. This guy was actually planted. And as you can see, it's grown a lot. It's huge, it gives lots of shade. And it's a very nice tree overall. They are very slow growers, and they grow about 1 foot per year, which is not super fast. For the 1st place tree, I have to give it to the black willow. Unlike the weeping willow, the black willow is actually native to the United States, which makes it less prone to diseases around here. And man, let me tell you, I've seen this tree everywhere. It can grow super easily from propagation and cuttings. This thing grows in rivers, it grows in gardens, it grows everywhere. That's the thing about it. And it likes this weather so much that it literally grows just as fast or even faster than the weeping willow. It traditionally grows 5 to 8 feet every year, depending on the circumstances, of course. You just have to make sure you select a good cutting because some grow faster than others. Unfortunately, I do not have a big version of the black willow, but I don't need to worry because I know within like 2 years, one of these guys is going to be huge. Some people even dislike this tree because how often they see it. You can almost consider them invasive even though they're not. It's like a weed around here. But me personally, I like them and I like the look because it reminds me of the weeping willow.